About the time I got it started was when you got it fixed. That's not
that's
fair.
a good thing. No.
Oh, but look. Did you notice the background? Look at there.
That's exactly right. We've got new signage
Right
in the
there.
studio, and it says WPKYonline.com. So yeah, we've got a model up over there. So there it is. If you're video streaming, it says WPKYonline.com. That's of course where you can get a whole bunch of information and check out everything on our website, from news to sports to weather to links to the Big Deals Loyal Listener online store and all that stuff.
Yep.
And you can check out all our videos we stream and that kind of good stuff. It's good. It's just full of info. It's just full.
Capacity.
So, yeah.
Running over. Cup runneth over. Hey, speaking of running over.
It's Coffee Talk on a Friday.
Yeah.
And we've got
5K run.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about it.
It's going to be a good one. It's going to be right down here. Well, most of them are. But anyway, right down here, it's going to start Macbeth Drive. That's the name of it. I always forget that. 320 Macbeth Drive. Of course, that's down there at the CMA, Caldwell Medical Association Family Practice Clinic down there with Dr. Littlejohn's office is where they're going to kick it off at. Now, it's not but $25, and of course, Jana Wayner over at Morgan's Funeral Home designed some really nice shirts for it, so you get a T-shirt as well. And really neat, and you can support breast cancer awareness. Of course, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so it's a great time to be thinking about that. That's going to be followed by a pancake breakfast at the hospital, so you can go run and then reward yourself with some pancakes. How about that?
Get your carbs back.
And you can learn more on their website or their Facebook page, Caldwell Medical Breast Cancer 5K event. And, of course, that's going to kick off the whole thing, the whole festival today. And that's pre-registration is going to start at 7th. Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah,
I keep saying everything's today. It's not. No. It's tomorrow.
The Caldwell Medical Center Community Festival is tomorrow.
Pre-registration, 7:30, 8 a.m. is when they're going to kick off the race.
That's
tomorrow.
That's right. And then, of course, a full day of festivities out at Caldwell Medical Center. Vendors, food, fun for the entire family, health screenings, and us. We'll be on hand out there.
10 to 2.
We encourage you to come out and participate, be a part of that, and get to know everybody out at Caldwell Medical Center, and of course all the vendors and friends that'll be out there celebrating this festival, celebrating health.
Well, and I'm a procrastinator when it comes to a lot of that, because I'm one of those people that say, you know what, I don't want to know. If I don't know, it can't kill me. Sometimes it's like either that, or if it is going to kill me, I don't want to know about it. No, and that's completely the most backwards way to look at it. And these days, most of the time, a lot of things can be cured, or they have treatments for a lot of the things that they didn't used to have. And, some of these things that you have to go through are not as bad as what they used to be.
They're not invasive.
At all. And I've got to retrain my brain, really and truly. I get it from my dad. Thanks very much. But I have to retrain my brain, in a different way of thinking. So I'm really kind of trying to step out of that box and do some more of the screenings and, the mammograms and stay on top of that. You don't have to wait till you're 60 years old. That's not when you finally need to start going. Talk to your doctor if you're not sure how often you should be getting them, but make sure that you get those mammograms. And these screenings right out here at during the festival, they're actually really informative, believe it or not, and most, they're free. So go ahead and try them out.
I believe they're also having a blood drive.
Yes.
And, of course, that's always needed, especially if we head into the holidays.
Yeah.
And then, of
it
course,
stays here, too.
Yes, that's exactly right. Right here in the community, right here at the medical center. And then, of course, flu shots. A lot of folks, it's that time of year. Flu season kind of started early. I was reading an article about Australia and how it's really hit down there, down in the southern hemisphere. And, of course, and then it's summertime down there. Or getting that way. It's springtime down there. So, yeah. So, isn't that
I didn't think about that.
Oh, yeah. So, but anyway, it's here, and the best way is to get vaccinated and get it early, because it takes, as we heard on our newscast, Dana was here with the health department. Dana Hobby was here, and it takes a few weeks for that to kind of kick in your body to build up those antibodies against the flu.
Well, and they had already talked about that they're seeing people already with the flu here in Caldwell, and we've already started to see it. So I sucked it up. I said I told Joe that I would help him kick off the flu clinic, and I'll roll up my sleeve and be his first victim. I mean the first But that's what I'm going to do.
Well, good for you. Yeah.
And normally, again, that's another one that I kind of usually try to get out of. But I just because I'm a weenie, it's not.
No, that's
anything. And I need to
I hope you
put
do.
on my big girl britches and do that.
Yeah, everybody needs to, especially the elderly and young children. They recommend it now for the elderly, young children, of course, and it's just everybody to
well,
go
my
ahead and get it.
children,
Yeah.
I get them vaccinated every year.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't do that for myself, but
Yeah.
this year I'm going to make sure that I do that. Eli got his the other day, and you know what? He didn't cry. He didn't nothing. So thank you, Dr. Littlejohn. And he got his shot, and he was good to go. And we come home, and I said, what do you got there on your arm? And he lifted up his sleeve, showing me his Band-Aid. He was very proud of it.
You'll be able to do that tomorrow out at Caldwell.
I want a strawberry shortcake Band-Aid, and I hope they give me that.
There you go.
That's
you've
what I
got
want.
that request in. And
one of the things, if you see Deborah Stovall out there at the Health Fest over the weekend, there on Saturday while we're out there from 10 to 2, make sure you look her up. Ask her. Now, don't tell her. Don't anybody tell her and ruin the surprise. But ask her if Armadillos can give you leprosy. If you do, and you're the first person to ask her, you'll get a free dinner. Joe Duncan and I set that one up for her. So
I wish I kind of am regretting ever telling you that tidbit of information from when I was a kid in Florida and I was trying to catch armadillos.
Well, there's been a lot of armadillos in our community lately. I don't know if you've noticed that.
I was on the interstate and I drove from Hopkinsville to Princeton, and 5 dead ones.
Really?
Yeah, this was about 2 weeks ago. I counted 5, and they were armadillos. I mean, I know
2 different people I know have found them under their porch.
Yeah, they're here, and that's kind of cool. But
they're
here. They adapt very well, and they're kind of prehistoric looking, but
they're kind of crazy looking.
They burrow, they dig holes. They can be kind of a nuisance. But I used to catch when I was a kid in Florida, and never thought I'd see them in Kentucky, but they are here.
You caught them or you chased them?
Well, I caught one
Really?
one time. Yeah, my
Did
cousin
give you
and I
leprosy?
did. No, thank goodness. But
I mean, you never know.
no. The way I look, no, but I know. But the good thing is, that's something that. But I heard that tidbit information. I think my mom told me that. I said, you don't need to be touching those.
Wow.
So my mom's an RN.
I thought it was really interesting. And, of course, Deborah Stovall actually did a little digging on it, too. So make sure you go and ask her about it. She'll get a kick out of it. It'll be funny, and somebody will win dinner.
But the big thing is it's just going to be a fantastic day out at Caldwell Medical Center. And it's
whole section for the kids.
Yeah, and it's just a day where you can relax, mingle, get your health screenings, talk to people, be in touch and in tune to your health. There's going to be music out there. You can just, relax and listen to some music. You can get something good to eat and just meet the staff and the folks that are there, and they're taking care of our community.
Eat a pork taco while you're watching the kids bounce on a bouncy, and then when they're done, while the live music is playing in the background. I got it set up, Buttercup. Are you kidding me? I'm going.
Why don't you eat a pork taco and then go bounce on the bouncy and see what happens?
No. That would be bad. You're going to need those doctors if you start doing that.
I'm sorry about that, but
yeah, don't fill them up and then shake them up. That's the wrong.
But
order.
we especially want you to come by and say hello to us
Yes.
and say hello to Tessa. We're going to be wandering around there, a bunch of different places, and talking to folks and letting people know what's going on, and we want you to come out and participate. If you're out driving in your car tomorrow and you hear us over the airwaves, do pull on down Medical Center Drive and take that short drive down the road there and come by and say hello and take advantage of this wonderful festival. Staff and everybody out there has worked hard to really put this together. Of course, they've always had the Caldwell Medical Center Health Fair. We're going from fair to festival.
We done went somewhere. I'm telling you,
bigger,
it's huge.
bolder, and very, very friendly. And we certainly want the community to come out and be a part of it and share it with us. It's going to be a fun day out there.
It's almost like a fall festival of sorts. It's got a lot of that kind of feel to it. And when you talk about fall festivals, now that's something else that is really next week is kind of in full swing. I mean, when you talk about wanting to find somewhere to go, I always see the moms, and especially on social media, we're all talking to each other going, okay, what time do we go? Where do we go? What are we doing? When is everybody having it? On which day? And it's always on there on social media, everybody asking. So listen up so that you'll know what to tell them, because 2 different places right here locally are doing some big ones, to include Fredonia and Princeton right here at home. So you really don't have to go anywhere much at all. Fredonia's like 5 minutes from where we're sitting. I mean, it's no big deal. Well, maybe 6 or 7. It depends on.
It's 14 miles.
It depends on if I drive or Ty drives. It's a totally different timeline depending on the 2. It's like Back to the Future.
I'll take the monorail to Fredonia. Okay.
That's. He said, I'm going to go to Fredonia to go pick up a banner, and I said, okay. And like 5 minutes later, he walks through the door, and I was like, what in the world?
Yeah.
And he had the banner. I still think that. I still think
that
Jimmy Don met you halfway.
No,
or something.
that Bewitched thing where you
wiggle your nose.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
Well, on the 26th, I'm going to love to wiggle my nose, because I bet there's a bunch of little witches over there.
This
they're
going to
going to all dress up. And I've been told that Jimmy Don, you're just going to have to see his costume to believe it. I've heard that there's adult tricycle races over there.
Yeah, let's go down this schedule, Vin. Of course, Fredonia Valley Bank, it's their activities committee down there are putting together just a really nice festival celebrating 125 years of Fredonia Valley Bank.
Right.
And that is coming up next Saturday, the 26th, from 3 to 8 at the Buddy Rogers Ballpark. So 3 o'clock, church games and bounce houses begin, and then there's food to be given away at 4 o'clock. First Baptist Church, you get a hot dog or hamburger, bag of chips, and a drink. Can't beat that.
Nope.
Then here comes at 4 o'clock those tricycle races, those adult tricycle races.
Get off the sidewalk.
And I hear there's bragging rights for there's a trophy, and they will have a trophy.
Bragging rights? Those guys? No.
Yeah, they'll get to claim a trophy for the year and display it proudly. And of course, all those proceeds for the tricycle race go into the activities committee there in Fredonia. Costume contest at 4:30. Crazy Tie Guy Nathan Durrell at 5. And Nicole Adams is going to be down there with her band at 6 o'clock. And
all that's free, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't cost you a thing. The trunk or treat will begin at dusk. Best trunk will receive a gift certificate as well.
That's going to be fun.
And then at 7 o'clock, they're gonna have hay rides beginning. They'll have at least 2 groups, and they last about 30 minutes. And then they'll start cleaning up at 8 o'clock. So
I'll
a full
tell you.
afternoon and evening of events.
Well, for a Saturday afternoon, and you're looking for, trunk or treat, get the kids plenty of time to get dressed up. It's going to be a beautiful day so far. The weather is kind of holding up for that. And, of course, not only are they celebrating fall, but Fredonia Valley Bank, a celebration of 125 years. Wow.
Big time. And to commemorate that, they have a one-of-a-kind item that was made by Mr. Johnny Gilbert. They're doing a knife. They got a handcrafted knife made by Mr. Johnny.
Well, and they said the steel come out of the old vault.
Came out of an old vault there for Fredonia Valley Bank, and they're raffling that off, and that's for their academic scholarship. And that's going to be that's a beautiful one-of-a-kind piece there.
It is beautiful. So. And talk about historic. I mean, it coming out of that old vault. I mean, that's...
Well,
I think he said it was the pin and the hinge or something like that. And
forged it into a knife.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a lot of work and
it's
a lot
beautiful.
of love and a lot of skill, and that's a one-of-a-kind item.
Oh, I'm registering for that.
So there you go.
You got competition. I'm going to put my name in the hat for that. That's nice.
And then, of course, tomorrow as well, you can test drive a car up at the Butler parking lot from 9 to 12.
Test drive a car.
And that's in conjunction with Trice Hughes, Caldwell County basketball team, raising funds for that. And so we encourage everybody to go by.
It couldn't be any easier.
No.
You don't have to do anything except jump in a really nice brand new vehicle and test drive it for a couple of seconds, and bam, the basketball team will get money for every single test drive, and their goal's 150. I promise you there's 150 times that 150. There's no reason why we can't get 150, which is their goal.
150 people to drive, not $150.
No. We'd like to have more than 150.
Yeah.
But it's 150 people. That's what their goal is, to take that test drive. And there's no reason why we can't get that accomplished.
No, not at all. And that's from 9 to 12. You're going to go by there before you come to the hospital?
I am. I'm going to go make a little money for the basketball team myself. I'm going to go and take a little test drive.
Awesome. That's going to be
fun. Love those
fun.
Tri-Seas people. Good people.
Yes, so big day tomorrow with our Caldwell Medical Center Community Festival.
Yep.
And then, of course, the test drive event up at Butler parking lot.
And then
next week.
Are you going to give me a drum roll? Well, that was a lot. That was good. I expected, but hey, you did good.
What about it?
Halloween in Princeton.
Yep.
I'm excited about this, and I wish to goodness that this was around when my kids were little, because mine are just teenagers, now. And when they're little, as a mom, you get really nervous because some of the sidewalks, even though you try to be safe, when there's cars going up and down the road and that sort of thing, and you got to drag them in and out of the car seats and in and out of the car, it can be a pain and then some. And it can be nerve-wracking because somebody is always trying to yank away from you or go see somebody they know or run up to all the different houses, and it can really be hard. But what they've started doing in the last 3 years is downtown Princeton having the trick-or-treat festival.
Halloween Safe Night, yep.
I love that idea because they shut down downtown like we would at Black Patch almost, and all of the businesses and a lot of the churches and a lot of people go out and they all have their booths and they hand out candy and, there's some prizes and that sort of thing, some games. So, it's a really good time for the kids, but it's safe. Did I mention that it's safe? And that's what I love about it. It's a controlled party for the kids, basically, downtown. And they still get to go trick-or-treating. They still get to have the same feel and dress up and see all their buddies. And it's on Halloween on the 31st. But they can do it in a safe way.
No doubt about it. And a lot of folks in the community kicking in for that and providing the activities, the candy,
We're gonna be
fun. There. Yeah. And it's going to be a fun night. So
come by and get your candy.
That's right. Say hello. And
I've heard Audrey Lamb is going to be dressing up.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. She dresses up she doesn't even wait for Halloween. She just dresses up all the time. So.
Hey, stick around. It's 8:27 with Tess and Ty and Coffee Talk, and we've got more coming at you and a couple of guests in the studio. So stick with us. 1580 103.3 WPKY.
The following is a true story.
I had a lady that was in her mid-70s, and I'd sold her timeshare, and that was the lowest I'd ever felt in my life. I knew then that I had to do something to simply not to go to hell for selling timeshare.
Chuck McDowell founded Wesley Financial Group to help folks cancel their timeshares permanently.
Called her and everybody that I'd sold timeshare to, and I said, this is what I said to you that was a lie, and this is what you need to do to cancel your timeshare. From that point, people started referring friends to me to help them cancel the timeshare, and that's how it all started. I fought the world's largest timeshare company in federal court. If I had lost that lawsuit, there would be no one helping people that have been lied to when they bought timeshare. If we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or we'll give your money back. That's what makes us different.
Call Wesley Financial Group now for a free information kit. 800-838-2626. That's 800-838-2626. 800-838-2626.
Hush, little baby, don't
What does your morning sound like?
the itsy bitsy spider. Rock-a-bye, baby.
She's finally asleep.
Hi, welcome to McDonald's.
Can I get a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, please?
Here's to making your morning routine a little better with a delicious breakfast from McDonald's.
There's an advantage in being the home team. You know who Emma Talley, Jake Lewis, and Pat Gates are. You've seen the wall around Butler Stadium and have heard of the Caldwell Crazies. Trice Hughes, we're your home team. Here's our home team deal of the week.
2016 Toyota Corolla Sport Plus, 39,000 miles. NADA retail $15,675. Trice priced at $14,300.
Get this home team deal of the week at Trice Hughes. Find us on Highway 91 North, Princeton, or TriceHughes.com.
1580 103.3 WPKY. Tess and Ty and Coffee Talk on the air. And we've got a couple of ladies in the house that we sure do like and appreciate when they come over from Hope and Cope. Ty, who we got?
We got Stephanie Randall with Hope, and we have Teresa Ray with Cope. I think I got that right.
There we go.
We're just so excited when they're here because they are chock full of information and good stuff going on with the Hope and Cope Center. So good morning.
Good morning.
Nice
Look
to
at
see
that.
you.
Well, they do good work, and I appreciate them very much. Of course, my kids are out there at school and give them heck on a daily basis, I would imagine. But they're always there to help, and you're always there to help the kids, and that's what we appreciate. And it's even the little stuff. I mean, I've had my daughter loves her because she'll say, but Mom, I needed, and it could be a pencil. It could be, something that the girls need every once in a while that, there's just anything. It could be that they want to come give them a hug and talk to them because they had a bad day. But that's what the Hope and Cope Center really means to the kids.
My door is always open, and I love hugs and I love hellos, but I love the hugs especially from the young men, because even the young boys still need that hug, and we just love having them, and your children are a blessing.
Woo!
Fantastic.
Boy, can I put that one on the calendar somewhere?
well, ladies, who wants to go first and tell us of all the exciting stuff going on out at the schools with Hope and Cope?
Well, we just finished our Christmas assistance program yesterday morning, so we have several families and about 104 kids we need sponsored for Christmas. So if anybody would like to sponsor a child for Christmas, just call Stephanie's office or mine, and we would be glad to set you up with a family for Christmas.
Now, explain to them how this works, though.
Our Christmas assistance program. Well, we get referrals, and we send out letters, and each center has a Facebook page that we have got up. So we put information on that. We meet with the parents, and they sign up, and they are required to go to 3 parenting workshops out of 5 and parent-teacher conference. We did character ed values this time, and it went over really well. Parents really said that they got a lot out of it and enjoyed it, and really said they hated that it ended yesterday. So it went really well.
Well, and that's something. Now, how do they sponsor, too? Like, if you're wanting to sponsor, what all is involved in that?
Community partners, usually they know or listen when we get finished, we have a list of people that say call us when you're ready for sponsors, and they just call, and we give them, we never get out our parents or our students' names. They have a number, and they are given, if they want 1, if they want 2, if they want a whole family, we give them sizes and things that they like, and that's it. And then the sponsors will go out and buy shirts, pants, shoes, socks, underwear, and sometimes they throw in a couple of little extra things. If it's girls, nail polish or perfume or lotion, or boys, it could be, if it's small boys, cars, trucks. Most of the time it's just clothes, but they do throw in a few surprises every once in a while.
What are the age group of these kids? What kind of age group on the kids are we talking about?
Preschool through high school.
Okay.
Preschool through high school.
So this can be a lot of kids that, could use a jacket to go to school, or it can be simple things that, you would think that most kids already have, but not necessarily, right?
Right. And when the parents fill out the forms and turn them back into us, some of them will say that they need a winter coat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and is that something that, we're seeing more need for, or, has that is it dropped off a little, do you think, this year?
It's been a pretty steady need.
And easy to get sponsors?
Yes. We are blessed with a very giving community. We have not had to struggle with finding sponsors for our children, because they say, hey, and they do. And we are just blessed in so many ways, because they help us with our Christmas. They help with the Happy Feet, when the Happy Feet's doing drives for money for shoes. Like before school started, we partnered with Happy Feet and gave out more than 400 pair of shoes this year. So 400 plus students got new shoes when they went back to school this year.
That means a lot. I mean, it really does. And I will say, I love that we live in a community that seems to put the kids first. And I don't think that, and I've lived in other places, and that doesn't necessarily happen in all the communities. People, they'll support one organization, maybe not another. But, I mean, we've done the Christmas thing at church before and sponsored. And if you have a small church or your Sunday school class is not very big, you don't have to sponsor, 10 or 12 kids, right?
No, ma'am. You can call and say, hey, we only want 1. It doesn't have to be the whole family. It can be only 1 child. And if that's all you can do, we're very thankful.
Well, and I think we kind of spaced it out amongst different ones. And it's like, okay, well, if we're going to take a family, then maybe this Sunday school class will take the little girl that is their age. Or maybe, this Sunday school class, since it's a men's Sunday school class, will take dad. I mean, and it's, when you get creative with it at church, everybody can be involved in it, even the little ones. And it's something that, we actually took our youth group out one time and went shopping and that sort of thing. So, I mean, you can be creative and have a great time at the same time.
Yes,
and teach other kids that, are more fortunate, about life in general.
The girls' basketball team usually sponsors some, and the football sponsors. I mean, it's everybody. It's the whole community. It's teachers in our buildings. It's our churches. It's our businesses. They are just they step up.
Those mamas and daddies
They
and
step
grandmas
up.
and grandpas and aunts and uncles, and I appreciate very much the parents and the organizations out there that do that. And of course, we got Thanksgiving right around the corner too. I mean, is that, how are we doing food wise, or how's our backpacks and all of that stuff going?
The Hope Center organizes a Thanksgiving food drive every year. So that will take place November 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's a 3-day food drive. That's students preschool through 5th grade. So they're encouraged to bring in non-perishable food items on those 3 days. We kind of do a competition amongst the classrooms. So the classroom with the highest number of items in each school, so primary and elementary school, they receive a pizza party and extra recess.
Give those
just
parents
to give
those
them
dates
something
again.
fun. It's November 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Because you know how I always found out about it? Teresa, they would walk in and they'd say, "Mama, have we got anything in the cabinet?" I mean, that's what they would be
Yes.
digging in the pantry. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" "Well, I've got to take it to school tomorrow for the food drive." They never tell you till
Yeah.
it's like midnight the night before.
No, and then they clean out your cabinet.
A flyer,
That's right.
a flyer has been made and will go home next
that doesn't
week.
matter. They're-
but
the
they don't
parents
always
still
get
are gonna-
home. So that is one good thing about our centers having Facebook now. So that we
Yes.
will also be posting reminders on Facebook. But all the food collected on this food drive goes to Southside Baptist Church.
Good.
And they make up about 125 Thanksgiving baskets that they distribute through the community. So we also can refer families to Southside. If they do not know how to contact Southside, they can call us at the center. We'll give Southside their name if they need a food basket.
If they're
And-
like mamas and daddies, now ask for that flyer. Make sure you ask those kids.
Yes.
Say, "Hey, did you get a flyer today?"
Yes. But it's usually a good drive. Usually we get between 3,000 and 4,000 items between both schools. So it's a big food drive.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
But again, is that need, do you think it's getting more and more every year, or is that one of those?
There's a big need for food in the community. Our FGC, which is the weekend food program that we partner with, the UK Extension Office with that. We have several kids on that program. We have probably more that could use that program. So that's a reminder for parents, if that is a need, we can sign that child up anytime during the year. It doesn't have to be just at the beginning of the school year. So the parents do have to sign a permission form. That's the policy for Feeding America, which is the company the food comes from. So we can send that permission form home, or the parents can come into the school to our centers and sign their children up. And any donations that want, if anybody would like to make a donation to that organization, they can send a monetary donation to Joni Phelps at the UK Extension Office. Checks have to be made out to Feeding America, or non-perishable food items, just anything simple that a child can fix on their own if needed. So
Well,
Easy
and-
Mac, Pop-Tarts, peanut butter crackers, stuff like that.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask too. When we're talking about Thanksgiving food, and then we're also talking about like the weekend, the backpacks and that sort of thing, it gets confusing sometimes, to figure out, is that the same program? Does one bleed over into the other? Is it two separate things?
Two
Totally
separate things.
Okay.
The Thanksgiving food drive, the food goes to Southside Baptist Church.
Okay.
For their Thanksgiving baskets. And that's just a basket they'll get the week of Thanksgiving. They'll provide a turkey and then all the vegetables and stuffing and stuff for a Thanksgiving meal. The leftover items will be donated to Southside's food pantry.
So this does not take away from the backpack program at all?
No.
So for that 4-day weekend, they'll still get their little goodies in their backpack
Yes, ma'am.
that they need to eat. But then they had the opportunity for the baskets as well for their family.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I wanted to make sure, because that can get confusing sometimes. And I want to make sure that everybody says, well, I gave to one, but, so I don't have to get to the other one. No.
We
That's
have
not
about
it.
90 kids signed up right now for our weekend backpack program, and we know the need is probably more for others. If parents need it, they just need to call us.
Well, and is that something they can do for either or? I mean, the parent can call
Yes.
in and say, look, I need this help, and my kid needs this help.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Well, is there anything else you got going on over there?
We have, for the primary school, which is preschool through second grade, we're having a family night on November the 4th at 6 p.m. We're having Animal Tales come in and do a Creatures of the Galaxy show, which they will bring animals in that kind of look like constellations in the sky. So they'll teach the kids about constellations, how to find them, and then they'll get to see the animal and touch it. And
you guys always have door
stuff.
prizes and stuff there too, don't you?
Yes, we do. We try to have door prizes for the families to come. But it's just a good time for families to come out with their kids. It's free for them and have some fun.
And now you've got an email list and that sort of thing for that. How do you get on that so that you can be notified of things like this?
Well, this year we've kind of done away with our email list because we ran into the problem where the emails would be canceled or and that we were getting a bunch come back undeliverable. So that's why we've kind of gone. We're on Remind. We have Remind apps. So for people that do not have Facebook, we can get you set up on our Remind, and you'll get a text message through that app on our reminders, and then we also have our Facebook page.
And those are really easy to use. We used them through football, and I will tell you, I thought they were going to confuse me, but Amy Littlejohn got me set up on that, and it is the easiest thing in the world to use. So, hey, good job on that, because it really is a lot more reliable, I think.
Yes.
As she mentioned that the primary and elementary was doing Thanksgiving food drives, middle and high school will be doing one for Christmas.
Okay.
It will be the first week of December. The high school just usually does one day, and I think it's December 5th. They bring it all in one day. And then the middle school, in the same process, it all goes to Southside, and they make up baskets for Christmas as well.
So the parents can look ahead and know that that's coming.
Yes, ma'am.
You can put a bow around it with here, steal this. You just get it ready for the kids. So again, remind us of those dates and what we can do.
Okay. Christmas is December 5th for the high school, and middle school usually does a couple more days because they're not as good about remembering to bring everything in all at one time. Usually we go the whole week, or if they decide if they only want to do 3 days, that's usually the student council. I let them decide what they want to do. And the sponsor for student council at the middle school is Mandy Hooks.
Well, bless their hearts. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for everything that you do. And I can tell you they do a lot. The kids appreciate it and love them, and so do the parents.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you coming in, too, Ty.
We certainly do. Stephanie Randall of the Hope Center and Teresa Ray of the Cope Center. And again, these ladies are out there to assist the community at our schools. And if you need anything, then check out their Facebook pages. And we certainly appreciate them coming in today and the work that they do in our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And we got another guest hanging out in there. I think I see a Van Hooser out there. Hey, stick around. It's Coffee Talk with Tess and Ty in 1580 103.3 WPKY.
Beginning of flu season. Protect yourself with a flu vaccine at the Health First Community Health Center. It is your best shot at stopping the flu from getting to you. With same-day appointments and walk-ins welcome, they make it easy to arm yourself against infection. Contact the Health First Community Health Center office toll-free at 1-877-667-7017 or visit one of their 7 locations for all your healthcare needs. At Health First, your health is our first concern. That's Health First Community Health Center.
Casey's Pumpkin Patch offers the best in fall farm fun, from riding on the hay wagon to picking your own pumpkins. Play in the corn or soybean box in the barn. Shell corn with the corn sheller. Play on the gym set. Get lost in the corn maze. The maze this year is 35 acres of the Old and New Testament. Just $2 per person, or do it all for $5. Bring the whole family. Hay rides on the weekend. Call for groups 270-365-2132. Casey's Pumpkin Patch, 153 Farmersville Road, Princeton, just past Caldwell County High School.
West Kentucky Real Estate and Auction will hold a big auction this Saturday, October 19th, starting at 9 a.m. Selling will be furniture, tools, antiques, and collectibles. Come on out and enjoy the fun and auction. The auction starts at 9 a.m. at the Auction House, located on Highway 62 West in Princeton, the former Hancock's Grocery location. West Kentucky Real Estate and Auction. Wayne Boyd, broker auctioneer. To find out about other upcoming auctions, go to westkentuckyrealestate.com.
1580 103.3 WPKY. Tess and Ty, and of course Coffee Talk is on. And Ty, I've been excited about this. I even talked to Brad Harrelson about it the other day. I was like, guess who's coming in? Because Brad was very excited about it as well. So tell everybody who we got.
All right. Good morning to Alison Van Hooser. Alison Van Hooser is with Van Hooser Associates, and Alison is probably one of the community's leaders on leadership, we say like that. But she has penned a book, and it's still being in the editing stage of that. So she is becoming an accomplished author, but she also has a podcast that she has launched. It's called Stake the Leadership. And good morning. And this is a passion of yours, isn't it? Leadership and helping folks learn how to lead and be better leaders, whether it's in the community or on the job.
Absolutely. So I started with Van Hooser Associates, which Phil and Susan Van Hooser, who are my in-laws, I started working with them last year, and we're a leadership development company. So we work with associations and companies to develop their management and leadership teams at all levels. Yes, so the book that you mentioned will be coming out next year. It's a personal and professional leadership book. So when I think of leadership, I think you have to be able to lead yourself first before you can best lead other people.
I love that.
Do you? Thank you.
I do.
So the book is really, it starts off with personal development and then transitions into professional development and becoming a leader in the corporate world. I'm excited about the podcast that just launched. It again talks about personal and professional leadership development. I've done some episodes on my own, but I'm working on interviewing more people in this community and people who came from this community who are now in other places. So things are moving and shaking, and it's good, and I'm excited to be here just talking with my people from Princeton.
You know, years ago, and a lot of kids even do it, they say, I can't wait to get out of Princeton. Or, you're just stuck, you never go anywhere. That is so not true. There are so many people that have left and done huge things, Ty. And, there's a lot of us that we may move out of here for maybe 20 years or 15. And we say, I want to bring my babies back home. This is where I want to come in and raise my kids. And so then we come back home. But, I don't think the frame of mind is what it used to be about I cannot just wait to get out of here. I don't necessarily think that's true anymore.
I would agree. I don't think that's true either. I don't know if that comes from the visibility of social media, so there's people like us who are saying how great Princeton is, or if it comes from even a bigger thing, a fear of other places with all of the media and the things that are going on. Maybe both, yeah. But I love Princeton. You all know that. Princeton knows that. I was on city council a couple years ago and did that, and just really right before I moved to Van Hooser Associates, I just had to make a decision on what I was going to do professionally because I've got 3 kids and a husband that I help take care of. So I made the transition from public service to doing leadership development. But yeah, Princeton's great.
Well, you and I go several years back, and we've both been in leadership type programs, but it's always seems to me, at least in my mind, that you've kind of had a knack for this. Kind of had an attitude that, you know what, and let's face it, you had some adversity coming up, growing up, and I think that provides a lot of motivation. You can see it throughout all leaders, whether it's a national leader, a politician, or a sports figure. A lot of folks kind of start maybe with a little bit of adversity or a little bit of failure or struggle, but guess what? Something kicks into that human spirit, that attitude, and they rise up and they figure it all out, and they learn to lead. And tell us, if you don't mind, share a little bit about your journey into this.
Sure. So, yes, I grew up in Princeton. I've always lived in Princeton, love Princeton. So I grew up really poor. I mean, you all just had the people on here talking about Thanksgiving and those baskets and the coats, and we would get the presents dropped off from them at Christmas time. So I grew up really poor. This community is so generous, and they gave to me, but also there were people in my life who just poured into me. They loved on me when it wasn't their responsibility, and they had no reason to do it because I couldn't give them anything back, but they chose to give and they chose to serve me. And so through coming up that way and realizing that if I take ownership for my decisions, no matter what anybody else does, good or bad around me, I can make the choice to take positive action to get me where I want to go. And there's something about coming from those difficult circumstances and some people that develops this grit that where you say, I'm not going to be this way. And that was a stir in my heart for years. We all have our things where we make mistakes. And of course, I've been there. You all know me. Most of the people listening to this are going to know me. They've known me since I was a kid, so I've made mistakes. But when you make mistakes, you learn from them, you grow from them. And for leadership, I think the foundation of leadership is service. And when you serve people, you create influence with people. Those people who served me when I was little, I would do anything for those people. And when it comes to business, that same principle is true. If you serve your people, you're going to gain influence with them. So if you as a leader want your people to perform a certain way, you got to start serving them. And a lot of times as leaders, we don't see it that way. We're thinking, we've got to go, we need people to do this. I've told them the expectation, they're not performing. And we slap their wrist or we get them out of there and bring somebody else in. But I'm just a big believer because where I come from, that you can develop people to become better. And leaders have that power. And I think what greater responsibility than to make an impact on the people around you. And that's what leadership is. And I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but I just want to say this. When it comes to leadership, I think every person is a leader. Number one, I mentioned this before, you lead yourself. You're either doing a good job or a bad job at it, but you're leading yourself. But then if you have influence with the people around you, so as parents, you have kids. As a partner or a spouse, you have that other person in your life. If you have friends, if you have people you work with that you don't even like, you have influence. And when you influence people, that's a responsibility. And some people take it seriously and some people don't. So as you can tell, I'm just really passionate about being intentional about the things that you do, because we are all leaders and we are either positively or negatively affecting the people around us.
Well, I love that, because I think a lot of times when we look at a situation and something goes wrong, a lot of times our first instinct is to look at somebody else and say, okay, they did it.
So true.
What did somebody else do to cause this? It can't possibly be my fault. Whatever happened, the ball could have been set in motion 10 years ago, and it just now happened, but we're still going to blame it on somebody else because, I think it's, what do they say? Necessity is the mother of invention. And I think when we blame ourselves sometimes, we don't want to be slapped on the wrist either. So I think that we kind of come up with this idea of, well, it must be Ty's fault. It can't be my fault.
Usually is.
Well, around here, But I think that's what maybe it's a self-preservation thing, Ty. I don't know, but it seems like that's the first thing, and that irritates me with my kids so much. Well, she did it. I didn't do it. Well, yes, you did.
Yes. So that just makes me think, if I'm going to bet on somebody, if I'm going to bet on my future, if I'm going to bet on what's going to happen for me, I want to bet on myself.
Right.
Because I can't control everybody else. So if I blame somebody else, that means I'm giving them control of what's going to happen to me or for me. And maybe that makes me a control freak.
It probably does, but that's a good thing.
Yeah, but that means I can achieve my goals. I can get to where I want to go. So I agree that it is natural for us to say, boom, it's their fault, or it's because of this that I'm this way. But going back to that book, that's what this book is about, taking ownership for who you are and where you go and what you'll accomplish. Most people don't do that, but that's also why most people aren't where or who they want to be. So hopefully my goal with this book is to just inspire people to say, hey, what can I do for myself?
There's an old classic, and I just listened to it. I was on vacation. I'm trying to motivate myself. I love listening to podcasts, but there's an old one out there, and it's a classic. I know Phil's listened to it, and everybody, but it's the Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret. Have you ever heard that one?
I mean, I've heard of Earl Nightingale, but
okay, you need to check out The Strangest Secret,
okay.
and it's one of the old classics. But it says that we become what we think about.
Oh,
okay?
Yes.
And so, it's a mindset. You talk about that. Now, this word leadership encompasses a big thing, but give us kind of when it hits you. And I know you've been around Van Hooser Associates, it's your family, and you've seen, Phil's an incredible speaker, an incredible leader, written several books, and they're just awesome, motivating. But this word leadership encompasses a large thing, a large areas that you can go. But tell us when the bug kind of hits you that, I have something to share, and I have a passion for this, and kind of when it clicked, I need to do this.
Sure. So I will never push my faith on anybody, but I will always be true to myself. So I can look back through my life and see where the Lord has made a plan for me. And so I talk a lot about using your gift, and I believe that the Lord gives us gifts. And when I was 15, I met Joe, who's my husband. We met in Miss Forrester's PE class, and we started dating then and have been together basically ever since. So about 15 years. And when I met Joe's dad, we never talked about work until I was in my early 20s. And then Phil just became a resource for me throughout my journey of what do you think I should do in this situation and so on. So as our conversations continued to evolve and I started to step into leadership roles, the more he and I would have conversations, the more that passion in me would grow. Jeff McDaniels, who's at Farmers Bank, he introduced me to so many different experiences, which just poured into me the power of leadership, which is why I chose to serve on city council, because I thought, what can I do to serve people, because I know that's what's going to make an impact.
You got to be careful asking that question, because God will show you really quick.
So true. So when city council was winding down, or when that term was winding down, I didn't know really if I was going to step up and try to take on a bigger role in politics, or if I was going to do something else. And I really just had to take an internal look at myself. What are my gifts? Like, what is my purpose? Because I've had so many different jobs over the past several years, each of them been a step up, but so many different things, and I have so many different skills. What's the one true thing through all of that? What's the thing that other people say to me about me? And it's that I'm an encouragement, that I can get people to go and do things. And I think that exhortation, I don't know the word, but that ability to just bring people together and inspire them to do something, I am just confident, and it's not an arrogance, but it's just confident, and that is what my gift is. And if I'm going to live out my purpose on this earth, then I need to own that. It makes me a little bit nervous, because I always say, like, I don't want to put my life out there for everybody, but at the same time, I think that that's what comes with it with this, now that I'm writing a book and doing this podcast. So that creates accountability even in myself to live up to the things that I believe and the things that I say.
Well, tell us about the podcast and where we can find it and how we get to it so we can get some of this good stuff.
Sure. So anywhere you watch or listen to podcasts, you can type in Stake, S-T-A-K-E, the Leadership Podcast, and find it there. I'll be releasing episodes on the 1st and the 15th of every month. And then as far as Van Hooser Associates, our website is www.vanhooser.com. Most of what we do is training, management, and leadership teams. So if you own a company, or if you work in a company, if you are a leader in a company and you think our team would benefit from better communication, from figuring out how to deal with conflict, for figuring out how to get people to do the right thing at the right time, to make strategic decisions, those are the things that we help with. So if we can ever help anybody in this community, we work across the country, but we love our community, we love Kentucky, so if we can help anybody here, please reach out to us.
If we could bottle you in general and your energy, man, girl,
it's bubbly.
I love it.
So always,
but that's what you need. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're going to be successful, you got to have that drive, right? You got to have that energy, and you got to believe in yourself. And again, it may be arrogant, but it's confidence, and I don't think it is arrogance. I think it's self-confidence and loving yourself enough to look and see what your strengths are.
Right. I'm not looking for fans. I'm looking for people I can help. So, yeah.
Love that.
Fantastic. And, of course, you'll keep us up to date on when the book is published and it comes out. And are you still kind of finalizing it? It's just being edited now. It's pretty much final, and they're kind of going through, and you may be tweaking it a little bit?
Yes. So I am not a great writer, and I'll just throw that out there. So I just sent the manuscript off to a PhD, and she sent it back to me, and there's red everywhere. But that means that it's going to be better than it was when I submitted it to her. So, yes, it should be out in 2020. We're hoping spring, but it really depends on how fast I can get all the editing done.
And no name yet, but to be named later.
To be named later, yes, no name yet.
Fantastic.
Well, we're so excited and proud of you,
Thank you.
and glad to have someone like you, especially, it's a women's business strong appreciation month, and that's something that we had kind of talked about it in our own Beth Man and some of the ladies in the community that we've really, Molly Egbert's one of them, that, not only have a story, but are strong and are Spitfire women, that it's kind of like, don't stand in my way because I want to go right over the top of you.
They're succeeding and thriving and
I
doing
love
fantastic.
that. And that's something, if you can be an inspiration to our teenage girls and our little girls, I think that's wonderful.
Thank you so much.
So fantastic. Congratulations to you. Again, it's Stake the Leadership. Wherever you listen to podcasts, on your phone stores or online, do that. And it's vanhooser.com, correct, for Van Hooser Associates. So Alison Van Hooser, Van Hooser Associates, and, of course, becoming an accomplished author and podcaster.
How about
we certainly
that?
appreciate you being here today on Coffee
She's
Talk.
going to need her own bow tie.
Thank you so much. I would love a bow tie. Yes.
You look good
Thank
in
you
a bow
all
tie.
so much.
Well, thank you for being with us, and we sure are proud of you. Ty, I'll tell you what, again, we're going to be out at Health Fest. Ty and I are at the Caldwell County Health Festival here at,
Caldwell
at the
Medical
hospital.
Center Health Festival. Yes, indeed. That is tomorrow.
That is tomorrow. We're going to be there broadcasting live from 10 to 2. I'm going to get our flu shot on, and you're going to be throwing pancakes around. Of course, don't forget the 5K for breast cancer awareness. That's going to start down at Dr. Littlejohn's office tomorrow. I believe it's 7, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know where my paper
Yeah, I
went.
think that's when registration starts.
Here we go. 7:30 a.m. is when pre-registration will start, and then the race will start at 8. And then we're going to chuck it down to the hospital, and we're going to have food and barbecue and pancakes and live music and fun. And, of course, the basketball for Trice Hughes down here at
we
the
got a
Butler Building.
fundraiser. The basketball team is having a fundraiser down at the Butler parking lot from 9 to 12. You can go by and test drive a car. They're hoping to have 150 do that, and certainly we appreciate you helping out the Caldwell County High School basketball team for that. Tess will be down there, I believe, doing that test drive.
All you got to do is show up and drive a car. Doesn't
Yes.
cost you a penny, but they're going to make money for it for the kids. So I think that's wonderful.
Big to-dos tomorrow around and all kinds of other stuff, and the weather's going to be great, so enjoy it. So, yep, it looks like it's going to be sunny tomorrow and high near 71. Looks like they had a slight chance of showers in the forecast. That's gone, so good deal.
See ya.
Good deal.
Have a great weekend. Come out and see it. It's one of the locations. Audrey Lamb is up with your full newscast here in just a minute. And we got Todd Griffin coming on with sports before you know it. And we're going to check in with Fox News up next at 1580 103.3 WPKY.